So, Star Wars Celebration is over, and despite only being there for a day, it was amazing. So, let's take a look at one of the big things to come out of the event, the Star Wars Rebels Season 3 trailer, and dive in to see what secrets lay inside. So first thing is Ezra. Now, not only does Ezra have a change in his appearance from the look and feel of the trailer, he has a change in his attitude towards the Sith, which reflects on his fighting style and how he interacts with the rest of the crew. This could be Ezra's slow but gradual fall to the dark side, which hasn't gone unnoticed by the crew. From the dialogue in the trailer, Kanan knows that something is wrong, but because of his inexperience as a Jedi, or limited perception of the world, thanks to Season 2, he doesn't know exactly what it is. Now, on the subject of Kanan, it appears as though he's slowly getting to grips with his blindness and having to rely on other senses. It also appears that the Temple Guard helmet he was wearing at the end of Season 2 has been modified by Sabine to be more practical, something that Dave Filoni actually confirmed during the panel at Celebration. Yet he's still very much able to defend himself. Now, I can't talk about characters without covering Sabine, my personal favourite in the show. Once again, she has a new look to reflect her more dedicated commitment to the rebel cause. Personally, I like the new look. It conveys that she's grown not just in age but as a character as well. Also, it seems she's rocking a new Mandalorian-esque backpack, as well as something that I'm very excited for, the Darksaber. Last seen being wielded by Maul after killing Pre Vizsla in the Clone Wars. Who knows how Sabine has ended up with it, but being that she is of House Vizsla, it's fair to say that her history will have something to do with it. Now, while we do see Zeb and Hera in the trailer, their changes are small enough not to really go into detail on. One of the first things to note, however, in the trailer is the appearance of a young Wedge Antilles, who appears to be a defector to the rebel cause after being a trainee TIE pilot in the Sky Striker Academy. A very different, and some may say bizarre, origin story for the future leader of Rogue Squadron. Now, while I like his old EU introduction into the Rebel Alliance, I do like this interpretation, as it gives the character more motives to hate and fight against the Empire later in his life. Also, I wonder who the other two pilots are in that scene with Wedge. Could they also be younger versions of famous Rebel pilots we know? Now, it's also nice to see Hondo returning from Season 2 and becoming more of a prominent character, as I find that his humour brings another level to the show, as we see in the trailer. He also seems to be the key for the Rebel Alliance's capture and procurement of the famous BTL-A4 Starfighter, or more commonly known as the B-Wing. Again, another interesting take on the Starfighter's origin, as the trailer seems to imply that they're being used by pirates or another party, quite similar to its EU history, in which they were used by planetary security forces. Another returning character from Season 2 is our good old Captain Rex, who appears to be fighting some very old B-1 battle droids, perhaps left over from the Clone Wars or recommissioned in the service of the Empire. I think the first scenario may be more accurate, as we see what looks to be a very abandoned separatist base. While it's good to see Rex fighting on, this could be his last fight, either out of choice or circumstances, as his dialogue seems to imply this. In another shot, we see a very familiar ship, and while many will immediately call it out as the famous Outrider, it was confirmed by Filoni that while it's the same class of ship, it's not the Outrider itself. So, sorry everyone, no Dash Rendar in Rebels yet. We also see the introduction of the Scout Trooper into Rebels, as well as some interesting looking civilian variants of the Buckethead helmets in this scene. Now, it wouldn't be Rebels trailer without some Mandalorians, especially when they're sporting some rather interesting Imperial style armour. Plus, thanks to a speech from returning character Fen Ra, who has seemingly chosen to help Sabine and accepted her for a Mandalorian, tells us that they're in the service of the Empire, seemingly filling the gap left by Ra's absence. We also get to see some new but very familiar looking Imperial droids, as it seems that Dark Troopers are being introduced into the main canon, supporting a look that's very reminiscent of the Phase 3 type, while still keeping the droid mobility of the Phase 1 type. We also get to see a glimpse of Tarkin talking to a character we have heard about the show but never actually seen, Governor Ariandra Price. It's nice to see her in person, and I hope she plays a larger role in the season, although knowing who the main antagonist is this season, that may not be likely. Before I talk about said person, it seems we may return to the conflict around Ryloth, being led by Hera's father, Cham Syndulla, as several shots seem to imply, especially as the trailer would imply that their attacks aren't going as well as they could be. Another big reveal of the trailer was the introduction of the Bendoon, a mystical being seemingly neither light nor dark, who appears to be guiding Kanan. The best part of this character is that he's voiced by the Time Lord himself, Tom Baker. Now this neatly ties into the last couple of scenes, which shows Ezra's power over the Sith holocron seemingly growing with the tuition of Maul, culminating in a fight between Maul and Kanan, and the merging of a Sith and Jedi holocron with seemingly disastrous consequences. Could this be the end of Maul? What's the green spirit that Kanan seems to be infused with? And will we ever find out who inhabits the Sith holocron? I can't wait for Season 3 to see those questions answered. So with that, there's nothing more to talk about, and I'll end the video. Oh, wait, there's one little thing to talk about. For those who don't know me well, my favourite character in the Star Wars galaxy isn't a powerful Jedi, it isn't a Sith, or a famed bounty hunter. It's a small EU character. You might have heard of him. His name's Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn, to be precise. So imagine my shock, excitement, joy, thrill and relief when the trailer reveals that Thrawn is the main antagonist of Season 3, tasked with stopping the growing rebellion. Now, not only does he look amazing, perfectly capturing his key features from the expanded universe stories he appears in, while giving him a young, refreshing spin, he also captures the character's personality, down to studying his enemy's art and culture in order to destroy them more effectively. On top of that, he's voiced by the one and only Lars Mikkelsen, who brings across a frighteningly beautiful performance for the character, who's never appeared in media or canon before. And finally, because of Thrawn's appearance in the canon, the one and only legendary author that brought the character to life in Heir to the Empire, Timothy Zahn, is writing a new novel based on the character. Also, I love how in reference to Heir to the Empire, two very interesting creatures can be seen as a statue over his shoulder. This has to be the most excited I have ever been for Rebels. It's something I've always wanted and it's finally happening. And with all that, I'll end the video for real. But thanks for watching and be sure to comment on what you're looking forward to down below. So until next time, bye everyone.